twin fields in the Salesforce CPQ. So first of all, in the Salesforce CPQ, we have a process when we can convert our quotes or potential proposals into the actual order. So during that transformation, what we need to have is we need to have a logic which should convert quote fields into the appropriate order fields, and at the same time, for the related object quote lines, it should be automatically converted into the order line. So that means that there should be a match between them. So in order to provide that kind of functionality, what CPQ developers did, they actually introduced something called twin fields. So what it is? So it's actually a functionality which is allowing us to do the following. If on your quote you have some kind of field with the same API name and with the same type as you have on the order, so in that case, during the first time creation of the orders, the data will be automatically transferred from the quote to order and from the quote line to the order line. So that means that, for example, let's imagine you added into the quote line some kind of new field, call it, I don't know, like picture URL wherever. And the same field you have created here with exactly the same API name and with the same type. So in that case, once you will make a checkbox on the quote order it, an order will be generated. So that means that that field will be automatically also synchronized for the quote line to the order line. So it's a pretty interesting and powerful tool, but you need to keep attention on the following detail. So it will work only on initial transformation of the quote to an order. It will not work when you will try to go back to the quote line, change some kind of, like your field value, and then you could not expect that it will be automatically updated on the order line. So in that case, you will have to provide your custom logic if you still would like to make that synchronization happen. So here also in the CPQ, we have another use case. It's when we have on the quote the specific checkbox checked, like for example, generate an order per quote group. Or for example, when you have generally in the package CPQ setting set that every time when you convert in your quote into an order, it should generate orders based on the quote group. So in that case, situation will be a little bit different. So in that case, you might expect that, okay, so if twin fields working between quote line and order line, between quote and order, so maybe when we have the checkbox set, so maybe it will work from the quote group to the order, but it's actually not correct. So each time when you create in some field with exactly the same API name and type as on order, on the quote group, nothing actually will be synchronized. So it will continue to synchronize information from the quote and order. So in that case, what you have to do is on the quote group, once you will create a new order, you could actually have a trigger, and the trigger will be able to do that kind of synchronization and mapping, right? So you could actually, provide the same kind of logic if you would like to make it dynamic as Salesforce CPQ do, or if you want, you could build your custom mapping based on the custom metadata or whatever, right, and then perform that synchronization here. So it's one moment. So second moment is that there might be potential gap. So once you will enable that specific, way of the data generation. So in that case, if there will be some kind of total fields on the order and total field on the quote. So that means that when a new order will be generated from the quote group, so it will not take a total only for the quote group. It will take a total from entire quote because entire quote is still in sync with the order. So in that case, there might be potential defect. Like for example, you have a quote, and in the quote you have two quote line groups. So one group contains one pencil, and another one contains million of iPhones, right? So at the same time, when that architecture is enabled, you will generate two orders, and on both of them, total will be equal to, like 1 million of iPhones plus one pen, right? And when the person will get this order for one pen with a big price, right, he will be surprised. So please keep attention on that item. So I would believe that it around twin fields, which we need to cover in order of the basic understanding. And just for your information, right? Just one more time reminder. So that synchronization not working across all of the objects related to Salesforce CPQ package. It works against of the specific, like pairs of objects, which actually was included as a part of the design of the CPQ.